smoking that quiche. Like, baby, you know what he did to me. Gotta thinking I need you. She kicking the plug, baby, you know it. Man, back next to me. Many men love me, you know what I need. She trying that shit. She want it, man. She want to get sexy. Baby, don't get messy.
Welcome to renttv, the cancel show. And I'm not advocating for none of the stuff Diddy did, bro. All I'm saying is, bro, if you're in the industry and you've been there for a while and you were around Diddy, I feel like, bro, I'm not gonna say you were cool with the stuff he was doing, but I feel like you were okay with being blind to it, bro. Like, you were okay with it, bro. Like, if you knew, from all the stories I'm hearing about that guy, bro, excuse me, it seems like everybody who came in the industry, he tried on some, I'm trying to get with him. And he's gonna try his hand, bro. And it's not just Diddy, bro. Diddy's just a face for. I feel like there's a group of people who move like him. It's just that he's the one getting exposed right now. But no Diddy though. So it's funny how I see certain people just act like, oh, Diddy this, Diddy that. And it's like, bro, like, you were around him though. Like, and if you were in the industry for a certain amount of time, based on what I've heard, if you were around him for a certain amount of time, or you were in the industry, even if you weren't around him for a certain amount of time, you knew what he was into. You knew what kind of guy he was. Bro, Diddy been in the industry since the 90s, bro. Everybody knew what he was kind of into. Like, everybody knew, bro. So it's like, if you've been in the industry for a certain amount of time, and you hanging around him, you around him, you vibing with him, you cooling with him, you making moves with him, bro, you knew what was going on. You were kind of like, you decided to turn a blind eye to it, or you were involved with it. Now, all the crazy so-called stuff that Cassie accused them of, I'm not gonna say she was blindsided to it, where, because there's another side to that where it's just like, it's an environment where, oh, regardless of who she tried to run to or tell, she felt trapped, where it's just like, bro, he's just so powerful with it. There's nothing I can do. And then there's the other side to that where it's just like, I'm gonna get what I can get out of him, because this is the biggest lick that I could hit. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, there's a side to that where it's just like, regardless if, say, for instance, allegedly that's what she's thinking, there's a side to that where it's just like, at the end of the day, it's like this, bro. Bro, the industry is the feds, bro. And I'm not saying even if it's not the feds, you shouldn't move like this. I'm just saying the industry is the feds. You gotta know that. So if you see this guy is doing all these crazy things to shorty, you know it publicly and all that, bro. It's like, bro, like, the industry is the feds, bro. Like, why would you even, like, it's like, if you mess with bro, or if you mess with him, I ain't gonna say bro, if you mess with him, even though it's just a figure of speech, if you mess with him, you pull him to the side like, yo, what you doing? Like, you tweaking, bro. Like, bro, if she wants to go do what she wants to go do, bro, you can't be like, allegedly from what they said, you can't just be, and from the video, you can't just be like slapping her, slam dunking her, like, bruh, you can't be doing that, bro. Like, if she wants to go, you gotta let her go, bro. You gotta let her go. Bro, losing everything is not worth that, bro. It's not worth that, bro. She wants to go, let her go. Let her go. Be getting riled up. You're doing all these crazy things. And then people are around, like, just seeing all this, and it's just like, bro, no matter how powerful you think somebody is, bro, like, it doesn't matter. And everybody's moral compass is different, but it's like, at the end of the day, you gotta think, bro, like, nothing lasts. It's not even about that. That's a crazy thing. It's just, bro, if it doesn't align with your energy, bro, it's just, you could be like, bro, like, you tweaking, bro. And I know some people feel like, yo, this guy's so powerful. If I tell him that, bro, it's just, bro, you tweaking, bro. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you fucking your own shit up, bro. Like, if you tell somebody that, bro, and they react a certain way, regardless of what they do, bro, that's on them, bro. You know what I'm saying? You just wait for time to, like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, bro, you messing your own stuff up. It's not necessarily like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And the crazy thing with Diddy is, and I don't wanna like allocate this to like black folks, but to a certain degree, it's just, when you so-called black, bro, specifically in America, bro, when you do certain things, it's gonna get blown up to a certain trajectory, bro. And yeah, people could try to act like Caucasians do that, but like, black folks gonna do that. Even, I don't know if they're trained to do that or whatever. I don't know, bro. But black folks they're gonna blow that joint up. No Diddy though, to like a certain way. It's just like, bro, it cannot. Like, black folks not gonna ignore that, bro. We're just like, bro, he's doing all this stuff, and so maybe it's a mixture of the two, or maybe like black folks are just programmed to be like that. Where just like the Diddy thing is being propelled to a trajectory that there are other people from other cultures and other race that have done way worse in America that never got propelled to that trajectory. Or maybe that's a sign that so-called black folks voice reach far. Their influence probably reach far. I don't know. That maybe black folks are being utilized for that. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But there's people who have done there are people who I feel like Diddy saw and got influenced by and thought, man, I could be like that. Or I could be because what a lot of these niggas think over there is, it's not that they necessarily, it's like, a lot of niggas think the ceiling is white folks, bro. So the most powerful white folks they see is their ceiling. Or the most powerful, let's say it like this, the most powerful person that they see is their ceiling. And a lot of times in America, that's white folks. So it's like, when you start getting some type of certain amount of power and you get around the most so-called powerful people that you've seen, a lot of times it's going to be white folks. So A lot of people who only see who their ceiling is just based on what they could see, that's gonna be what they try to base everything they do based on. And they forget the fact that, bro, you're different. You're not that, bro. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying you're not that, bro. Like, there's different consequences, there's different circumstances. You're gonna be judged differently. Just like everybody that's different or from a different culture, from a different, depending on where you live, depending on where you at, you're gonna be judged differently. Depending on what family you from, all that stuff comes into account. Where you're gonna be judged differently, or you're gonna be judged based on all those things. So it's like, bro, like, for you to go see all these things and think, oh, I'm gonna duplicate the same thing, or you think I'm gonna do like a version of that, but I'm gonna be the top of the top. No, Diddy, yes, Diddy, I don't know, whatever, man. Shit crazy. Like, I'm gonna be the top of the top of that when it comes to like niggas. And again, it's another complex that certain people have where it's just like they view it like, oh, my radar is different from that radar that when it comes to like Caucasians, where it's just like, I could never reach the radar that they're on. I could never reach that level they're on because they feel like they're so-called black. So it's just like they view it from a perspective where it's just like, I gotta be that version of it when it comes to black folks. So they try to duplicate that and create the same thing where they just feel like, oh, I'm higher than everybody. Oh, this is the highest of highs in this field or whatever I'm in. So I'm gonna duplicate that and be the highest of high in that when it comes to black folks, because when it comes to that, like, I can never, or they feel like they could never be it's a whole different, like, I'll say this, it's a whole different scale. It's like there's a black folk scale, there's a Caucasian scale, and then there's a scale for everybody, but it seems like the Caucasian scale is the scale for everybody. If you get what I'm trying to say. So it's like, but what you have to understand is when the judgment comes down, when the consequences come down, bro, you have a different scale, bro. Or rather, the due process for you, the process you're gonna go through is different than the process that, you know what I'm saying? Because niggas gonna judge you, bro, by their scale. And the way that a lot of black folks judge you is just, bro, you black, what are you doing? Some of that shit you was doing, niggas don't do that shit, nigga. So that's a whole scale you gotta worry about. That's a whole scale you gotta worry about. Where like black folks gonna judge you on that. And then there's all these other people and all these other skills you gotta go through as well. Where it's just like, bro, like, so maybe sometimes it gets propelled us, and especially when you of a certain, when you hang around people that's so called looked at as they're a certain type of elk, like all these things you're part of, that you've been part of, that you were so proud of being part of, that elevated you to that, you're gonna get judged on all those different scales, bro. You're gonna get judged on all those different scales. So at the end of the day, it's like you have to be aware of that when you make the decisions you make and do all the things you do. Because everybody could do what they want to do around you, bro. But you have to realize that, bro, when the judgment comes down for all this stuff, like, bro, you might have a couple more skills that they don't have, bro. You got to take that into account. But it seems like a lot of people don't, or he wasn't thinking about that. He was looking at it as a superpower, but every superpower might be your weakness. Like Superman, his superpower is the fact that he's from the planet he's from. His weakness is the fact that he's from the planet he's from. It's always like that, bro. A gift can be a curse can be a gift. Usually it's both. So it's like, but the crazy thing is a lot of people they've been in the industry for a while. They knew what he was about. They knew how he moved. They were still around him. They were still, and some people try to make it look like, bro, you had to be around him to win. No, there's people who weren't around him that won. Now, I don't know how they went about that. Like, I don't know, bro. Maybe they did something else, or they did the same thing with some other group or with some other people. I don't know. But no Diddy though. Bro, you can't act like, oh man, I was around him doing all these things with him and all that, and like, if people suspect you of being, you gonna act like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh nah, bro. Like, why are they acting like they suspect me? Why are they acting like they think I did this, bro? If everybody knew what he was on, and then you was around him doing certain type of things, bro, you can't be surprised if people think that certain things happen between the two of y'all. It's like, bro, if everybody knew and you knew, you've been in the industry for a while and you was around them, yo, were cool. It's logical for people to feel like, bro, like something went down. I'm not saying something went down. I'm just saying you can't act surprised if people think something went down. Because, bro, it's natural for people to think something went down, bro. Because you're looking suspicious. You're looking like a suspect. So someone is going to suspect you. Bro, you can't go hang around somebody who everybody knows or everybody have seen that this guy is into this type of lifestyle. He's doing this type of things. And then you go hang around this guy. And you surprised that people think something is going on when they look at some of the stuff he was doing with this guy. Bro, like, it's like if somebody was a suspect of certain things and then you go hang around him. When everybody knows in the environment, this guy is a suspect, and people know that you know, or you should know that this guy is a suspect for certain things. And then they see you doing certain things with that guy. If they're suspicious that you might be into the same type of activity, bro, you can't be acting like, yo, why are they thinking that, bro? That's not true. It's like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? The least you can expect is that you're a suspect. That's the least you could expect, bro. Everybody's gonna think that you're a suspect, bro. Everybody's gonna think that, bro. You shouldn't act surprised. The fact that some people acting surprised is like, it's making you look more like a suspect. It's making you look guilty. It's making you look guilty, bro. Because a lot of people who's coming out telling their stories, bro, they're telling stories where it's like, yeah, he tried to do this, move like that, and I stepped away. You never saw me around them. You never saw me in certain type of pictures. You never saw me doing certain things with them. But then there's people who, but there's all these documents of them hanging around doing all type of things, and it's just like, if people, I'm not saying you did anything or people did anything, but if people are suspecting that you did something, you can't act like, oh man, how can they suspect that, man? They're tripping. No, bro, you tripping, bro. You tripping. You gotta be tripping. You gotta be tripping. Why did you keep hanging around? Not just hanging around. Because somebody said maybe he didn't approach that person with that type of move. But when you start seeing some of the actions, it's like, bro, it looked like you said yes. It looked like you said yes. So if people are suspecting you based on certain pictures, certain actions they seen you take with the guy, it's like, bro, you can't act crazy like, yo, it never, like why are they thinking that? It's like, bro, they supposed to think that. Based on, like, the people who didn't do nothing, there's not all this evidence on them, man, bro. Like, it seems like the minute he tried his hand, certain people were like, yeah, I ain't going, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just, yeah, bro, like, cool. Nobody's saying you should have killed him or try to do some type of harm to him. No, it's just like, bro, I'm gonna just step away. And then there's people who didn't step away. They kept a relationship, a really tight, close relationship. And it's like, when that get exposed, it's like, bro, why are you tripping if people think something happened? It's like, bro, like, they're supposed to think something happened, bro. It's the logical thing to think. It's the logical thing to think. Because when you hear all these stories of people who he tried, they got away from him. It's like, yeah, I can't really, he's into some, yeah, bro, like, he making me uncomfortable, so I'm going to just step away. But it seems like some people weren't uncomfortable. They were very, very comfortable. They were very comfortable. Where they stuck around, they got even closer. They got even tighter. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people are suspecting it. It's like, bro, you can't act like it's a surprise. Like to you getting mad, trying to debunk whatever. No, bro. Why were you so tight with bro? Nah, bro, but why were you so tight with him? Why were you so tight with him? Why were you so tight with him? When everybody else who you're like, yeah, he into. So maybe you were into what he was into. Or maybe what people allegedly, the people who are claiming Cassie was a certain type of way, where just like she indulged in certain things, but she was just in her mind finessing to get to where she's going. Maybe that's the route. I'm not saying that's what she did. I'm just saying that's what some people say allegedly. I'm saying maybe some of these guys were on the Cassie type of joint, where they were on some, yeah, I'm going to just do what I got to do to get to where I'm trying to go. You can't be surprised if people accuse you of that. You can't be surprised if they're accusing her of that, and there's a video of him doing certain things to her, and they claim there's even more videos of that. How are you surprised they're accusing you? Like, bro, like, come on, man.